Next, we move on to our fireside chat on top of mind for cloud SaaS CXOs with Matt Carter and Quentin Hardy. Matt Carter is the CEO of Aryaka, and prior to Aryaka, he served as the president and CEO of Inteliquent Inc., which was successfully acquired by GCTR, a Chicago-based PE firm. He also serves on the board of directors of JLL and NRG Energy. Welcome, Matt. Our moderator for this session is Quentin Hardy, the new head of editorial at Google Cloud. Quentin writes about the technology and impact of cloud computing both inside Google and for other publications. Welcome, Matt and Quentin.
Great to be here. Thank you so much for the introduction. And wherever you are out there, I just want you to know you don't have to follow Ray Wang as a high energy speaker. I do. So that's my challenge, and I'll do my best. Aryaka is an 11-year-old company, very much in the vein of what we said before. Oh, by the way, I should say I am not speaking on behalf of Google Cloud today. I am here solely as a moderator on my own. And while Amit talked about, the productivity and the higher security and the open multi-cloud area, I think our next speaker will have much to say as well about this. It's a very strong theme inside this. And Aryaka comes at it in a somewhat different way, which we will discuss. They are all about ensuring application performance across a wide area network, especially for customers looking to do a managed approach. And I think talking about that managed approach is a very important part of Aryaka. But I want to turn it over to Matt to talk about Aryaka. In particular, Matt's had an astonishing career. He's very accomplished. What made you choose this company? Why did you see this as the right opportunity for you?
Quentin, thanks for the opportunity. So I'm an old athlete, and the athlete in me is really very competitive. And I worked for the telecom companies, and I saw a number of businesses being created off the back or the inertia of telecom companies. And when I saw this opportunity, when this opportunity came across to me with Aryaka, it was the perfect opportunity to go compete against the telecoms. And so what I saw was, wow, here's a big market, a market that has been dominated by the incumbent telecoms, but they're not investing, they're not innovating. And here's Aryaka, sort of like a David going up against the Goliath, who had innovation, ingenuity, who moved fast. And so all of that really appealed in terms of, I believe I could bring my talents here and help this company make huge inroads against the incumbent telco companies that are out there competing.
Right. Now, there are more than one Goliaths in this field, and there are also more than one little Davids. You have competition large and small. What is Aryaka's approach that you think makes it a winner inside this? Tell me about this world, what's going on, and what your edge is.
So what we really bring, what's our true secret sauce? Our true secret sauce is really around the managed services side. What do? We provide secure connectivity, private secure connectivity to enterprise anywhere, anytime around the world. Lots of folks can make a similar claim that they provide that. But what makes us different, better, special is that our ability to be able to personalize that experience for our customers, to be able to help them deploy these secure connectivity services, quickly, and help them to be able to accelerate their digital transformation activities much faster than maybe others if they're working with the telecom companies. How is this demonstrated? We get a call from a customer. Hey, we need to open up connectivity someplace around the world. We can have that up and running and have that enterprise productive within 30 days. They call our competitor. Okay, 6 to 9 months. 6 to 9 months is a long time not to be productive. Mm-hmm. What makes us different, better, special is our ability to be able to execute, deliver these services much faster than others out there.
So you're delivering quickly and you're personalizing at the same time in a managed way. So you're taking some of the load and choice off the company. The CIO is in a kind of TMI situation where the choices are, and you're talking to them, figuring out where they're coming from, and suggesting a path, and then executing on it as quickly as you can. Is that about right?
Yeah, but it's and a little bit more is that we're able to do this. Think about it in this way: the CIO is faced with a lot of complexity, and trying to deploy private secure connectivity is not an easy task. There are a lot of moving pieces. Like you got to get security piece, you got to get networking piece, you got to bring a bunch of different groups inside those enterprises together. And oh, by the way, you got to have consistent application and user experience. What makes us so unique and different is the simplicity that we provide to the CIOs. If you're a CIO, you're working with some of these other folks, you're dealing with a bunch of different people. With us, you're dealing with one single vendor who can bring this solution to you very quickly, very timely, very reliably, and by the way, help improve the end user application experience. Our customers love us for that. The biggest challenge for Aryaka is we're the best kept secret out there. Not enough people know about us. We don't have the billion-dollar advertising budgets of our competitors, but what we do have is high NPS scores. Our customers love us. They refer us to others, and when people get us and experience us, they love us. We just have to get more of those people, Quentin.
Well, that's a high trust environment, and if you're inside that, you're in a very good place to start, obviously. Right. It sounds like there is a really high level of trust here, because in my experience, the developer team, the whole DevOps operation can often be a little bit alpha. They can be, we can do this, what do we need these guys for? But that's not always true, and it's also not always quick. So you're looking for the market of CIO, who in a way is like, it's TMI where the choices are concerned, and it's DIY if we make the choices, and neither of those are really good. That's your sweet spot, in between TMI and DIY. Is that a big market? Is that sustainable?
We're on the right side of where the market is going. And you're absolutely right. There are those who feel DIY, we can do this ourselves. And it's hard to convince folks. And you got a lot of inertia there, like a lot of folks protecting their own turf and jobs, et cetera. Then you have other folks who look back and say, you know what? We know we can't do it all. This stuff is changing at a rapid pace. We can't keep up with all of these changes and disruptions that are taking place. And we're navigating through a world of complexity. What we try to do at Aryaka, we're not trying to be all things to all people. What we're trying to be is everything about the one thing that we believe we bring to the party. We bring secure connectivity to enterprises anywhere, anytime around the world. And so for that enterprise that looks to us as an extension of their organization, we're the right fit. And so finding more that view us as, you know what, let me outsource this. Let me just you guys handle that problem while I go take care of other issues. It's really where the sweet spot is for us, the company.
I think after the past year, we've definitely seen a lot more urgency too. We see people who know that situations are changing and may keep changing for a while. I mean, in a little over a year ago, a significant part of the world economy just virtualized itself to sustain economic behavior through a pandemic. In some ways, it was the most magnificent thing you've ever seen in public health. Thousands and millions of people who didn't have to risk getting infected were able to work largely because of the cloud. They could just virtualize this. We had fantastic video and audio and software systems that enabled people to work with us, while drug companies and other in public health could use the cloud to speed the process of coming out of this. And I think that's really given a lot of companies a clue that, like, hey, this is no joke, we have to move. It doesn't matter what our capabilities are right now. We need to get started. I'd like to know your experience of the past year, though, and what it tells all of us about where the world is going right now. In particular, I'd say that, but then finish off with where the opportunities are for the many, many entrepreneurs watching this talk.
Yeah, I think they all, the old saying that never let a good crisis go unheeded. And to that extent, though, this past year, yes, it's been for everyone, emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever. But at the same time, it's also given us an opportunity to rethink things. I think coming out of this will be born new creative thoughts, new ideas that can be extended how work gets done. I mean, we're going through this now with people as they look to folks coming back to the office. Are people really coming back 100%, or is there going to be some in between? What does that then mean in terms of productivity, in terms of culture, in terms of how work gets done? And so for us, it's really an opportunity to think more creatively. Where are the issues? Where are the opportunities where we can actually be much more useful, add value, and have impact? And it's not just in terms of here's the technology, or the bits and the bytes and all of those things. That's certainly part of what you have to do, but it's also about how we engage. Trying to sell in this environment has been also extraordinarily challenging as well. We typically like face-to-face conversations with customers, go out to dinner and sort of secure deals. This whole approach now is being rethought. Do you have to go get on a plane? Do you have to go fly off to South Africa, to Brazil? So I think, Quentin, the whole thought here is be open-minded, be curious, be thoughtful about where your customers are. What problems are they faced with? And I think what will come out of this will be new solutions. For us, we're viewing the world much differently now in terms of just on-premise. It's truly a cloud-based world. People are going to work from home. People are going to work in the office. We got to make sure we have that accommodate.
I think you've said a lot of interesting things there. What strikes me is one of the things is in seeing a company going through change, listening well and being high empathy is really strategically far more valuable than it's ever been before, as if it wasn't valuable already. The other thing is how much this underlines the good business reasons beyond the social behavior and it's the right thing to do, the good business reasons around diversity and inclusion. If you've got a changing situation, if you've got a more empathetic world there where listening and empathizing matters, having multiple points of view, having trusted partners with diverse points of view becomes even more important. And this is actually a business situation I know you're passionate about as well.
Oh, absolutely. So, it's been the past year. We had the unfortunate incident with George Floyd and social justice and people marching in the streets and a lot of mistrust around institutions. And what we're finding is that there's a different kind of awakening that's taken place. And it feels much different than maybe perhaps in the past, that people are much more conscientious about, are we doing the right things? Are we doing the right, it's not only for the environment, but are we doing the right things socially? When we look around our office, are we the kind of company that reflects what we believe are the values we represent? These are all important criteria now. It's not just here's our product, here's the price, are we cheaper? Those things. So obviously, those things will always be part of the decision equation. But when you walk through the door, are you representative of what we believe the types of companies we want to work with? Do you have women? Do you have minorities? Are you open-minded? Do you take a stand around social justice types of issues? And I know there's a lot of folks who find these things like business people should stick with business. And I get that, but your buying public is saying something different. And so we have to be, we have found that a lot of our customers, this is really important. Hey, Matt, just don't another, guy who looks like the guy or looks like the guy before. We want to know, are you guys really part of the solution and helping to make things better, not just selling us a product, but are you part of helping to make the world a better place, as corny as that may sound? So all of these things, what the past year has given us is all of us a time to reflect, a time to sort of rethink our approaches. How do we make sure that we are representative of the types of value that we all want to represent?
I think sometimes if you're not super comfortable, that's a sign you're learning. That's a sign you're exploring the world in new ways. And that's what businesses are doing now because of the changes we've been through, because of the opportunities of technology, and because of the changes in society. They're not as far apart as people think, maybe.
They're not. You know, it's funny you say about constantly learning. You know, I've always said this. Somebody asked me, "What's do you think has been part of your success?" And I said, you know, we get paid for what we know, but it's what we don't know and the pursuit of that that makes the difference. And so I have always been, and the companies that I have led have always been comfortable in pushing the boundaries, getting outside our comfort zone, putting ourselves out there, bare, you know, laying there bare naked, if you will, and exposing ourselves to things. And along the way, you're going to pick up a piece there of information and insight that will be part of how you go, you know, you move forward on. And so to me, you got to have attention inside the organization. This is why I believe when you look at the telecoms, our sort of legacy incumbents, they got complacent. They sat there, they were comfortable with what they already knew. They never really went at going after learning new things. All of these other businesses, Facebook, Google, all of these things to some extent are derivatives of a DNA, and they never, ever took advantage of that. And so to me, I never want to be that company. I don't want to be, I mean, I know GM these days are now sort of catching up, but the car company should have been the first ones that had electric vehicle to the masses versus, you know, Tesla. And so I think pushing the envelope, being uncomfortable and creating an environment that allows that healthy tension to exist helps companies to move forward and stay relevant.
Right.
Fantastic. Quentin, do you have an additional point?
Well, I just wanted to ask a little, well, for starts, I wanted to say, never moon the giant. The telcos might just learn a few things and be on the cloud themselves. You don't seem like a kind of guy who would take that for granted.
Absolutely not.
We don't.
You never take the competition for granted. Red Auerbach, the great Boston Celtics president and general manager, told me that. He said a good team, good organization. So that's my and
Okay.
if that's not moving, you know, somebody's catching up. Don't want to up.
Okay. Preeti, I think, are we out of time, or can we talk tech here?
That was a fantastic conversation, Quentin and
Okay.
Matt. Such an open and transparent and discussion. And Matt, I loved your passion. And certainly I invite the audience to check out Aryaka and all the innovation that you're driving. With
You might
that,
just find some opportunities.
absolutely. Thank you. Thank you both,
All right.
Matt and Quentin, for taking time.
Very much,
Take
guys.
care. Good luck, y'all.